Hi, my name's Kayla Bateman, and my dad has always told me that life is all about who you know. This case makes that statement ring true. Heidi Roizen has strengths of plenty. Growing up in the technology and entrepreneurship world, it set her up to create a network that would be very beneficial for her later in life. She even became a young entrepreneur herself by starting a puppet show business to help supplement her mother's single income. Her strength here was drive, a drive to help her family and a drive to survive. In college, after the sudden death of her fiancé, her drive shifted slightly. She needed to reevaluate not what everybody else wanted, but what she wanted out of her life. But she didn't just become a taker, as Grant would have called it. A friend helped her make a connection that would quickly spiral her career and her network upward. This connection, along with a budding interest in people, was the start of a great network. She's able to find strength and opportunity in the seemingly hardest situations, such as sitting in on meetings with high-level executives and not just conversing with these people, but building relationships with them. She had a great strength in confidence, not arrogance. She wants people to notice her, to trust her, and to build relationships with her. Her strength is an extreme intelligence and relentlessness. When her and her brother were trying to get their company up off the ground, she knew networks had to be made. She built relationships with the press and even joined groups to get as much exposure to people as she possibly could. She treated everyone as a potential connection. She had a strength in maximizing all conversations with all people. She was willing to give people chances and enjoyed intelligent and interesting people versus just people of power. Heidi had a strength as a giver, was tested when she began working for Apple, who was in a bad slump at that time. Heidi had to do for Apple what Adam Grant said that successful givers do. She had to ask for help. She had to use her network to call in favors to help propel Apple to be the company that she knew it could be. She also had experienced something else that Grant had explained about givers: burnout. She began getting overwhelmed with Apple and began to burn out. She needed to make a change to save her network. She began working as a mentor capitalist for startup companies to help develop their roots. She used her contacts, her intelligence, and her pleasant personality to help these companies. Her network became her greatest asset in her new job. Networking became her business. She was strong in her belief in mutually beneficial contacts. She would use her network to make connections between people and businesses if they would equally benefit both parties. She focused on win-win relationships. She had a strength that was also highlighted in the Harnessing of Science of Persuasion article, The Art of Reciprocity. She knew that connections and relationships had to go both ways. She was highly strong in communication techniques. She used her network as her personal life as well. Well known for throwing amazing parties and meetings at her home, she not only used her network for business, but for personal relationships as well. She used her network to expose her children to all different people. She networked not only for business, but with her children as well, as a mother. She joined clubs, she carpooled, she did play dates. Soon she became a venture capitalist for a firm to get back into something she was really interested in, the internet. This led her to another strength, becoming close to other successful givers with their own vast networks. She was a nuclei, and she bonded with other nuclei to create a vast intertwined network. As she became more and more involved in the venture capitalist world, she began to fear that the busier she became, the more her network would begin to slip. Heidi Roizen is the description of Adam Grant's successful giver. She has all of the qualities that he has described. Heidi is a nice person, but she was not afraid to tell people no, or that she could not help them. She made sure that the connection was going to be beneficial for both parties involved. She did not feel that if it was a win-win situation, she politely declined to help. She was also not afraid to ask for help from her connections when it was needed. just like when Apple was in a deep hole. She used her connections to powerful people to ensure that Apple would get a chance to rise to the top again. She efficiently used all the principles in the harnessing of science of persuasion highlights. She was intelligent and a likable person, which she projected onto other people. She liked people and was very willing to help. She practiced reciprocity. She also had a social proof. She used interest of others to help develop her vast network, not only within her business, but within her personal life and her children as well. Consistency was possibly the greatest principle. She practices all of her networking by this principle, and her career showed it. Her job as a mentor capitalist is a great example of her authority. By the amount of people in her network, you could tell she knew what she was doing, and everyone else did also. Her job was to help people and their companies get up off their roots. Heidi is a great example for how to build your network also. Her network was powerful, full of thousands of people who called her a personal friend, and she thought the same of them. She built her network with social capital of plenty and showed it in her success and the success of those around her. Heidi Roizen is the example of a successful giver.